everyone, welcome back to my channel. This seems about right, doesn't it? All right, so a couple of videos ago, I put out a feeler and said, hey, if you have any TPT questions or any questions really, like leave them down in the comments and I would love to do a video where I answer all the questions. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all had so many questions, which is awesome. I was a little surprised because I say in every video, I'm like, if you have any questions, leave them down below, send me a message. Like, I would love to help you out, and no one ever takes me up on it. So I'm pretty excited today. So today we're doing a TPT Q&A. That's a lot of letters. It is Friday afternoon. I just got home. Well, that's not true. I got home and I changed and I vacuumed because I knew I was not gonna want to do it after this. And then I made a sugar-free vanilla latte because we just need that in life, even though it's 5:30 in the afternoon, but you know, it's all good. So I am gonna pull up your questions and answer a whole bunch of them. I'm gonna try to talk quickly. If you have been around, you might have noticed that I tend to be a little loquacious. So I'm gonna try to keep it brief. If you have more questions, some of these I actually am gonna turn into like whole videos or a video series. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know if you have any more questions, because I would like to make this like a consistent thing. I think I might do like a TPT Q&A one month and then like a teaching Q&A the next month. So if you have any TPT or teaching or just life in general questions, like leave them down below and I might feature you next time. So we are going to get started. I'm not going to do that annoying thing that YouTubers do when they're like, let me try to pronounce people's handles, because that drives me crazy when I'm watching videos. Oh my gosh, can you get out of my face? Your face, Mom? You want me to lick your face, Mom? All right, question number one. Do you ever run out of ideas? This question I feel like I get a lot. Short answer, no, I don't. I have the opposite problem. I have all of the ideas and I don't have all the time kind of person. So I don't run out of ideas ever. But if you're looking for some advice, I'm assuming, I start with what I do in my classroom. So for example, I just did Akabaka with my second graders and we used it to work on law. And so I made a PowerPoint for my classroom, and then I took my PowerPoint and I beefed it up and TPT-ified it and added some worksheets and put it up on Teachers Pay Teachers. So that is how I get most of my stuff. And then in addition to that, if I just have an idea, I usually write it down in my bullet journal and I will keep that in track. If my bullet journal's not on me, I'll put it on a note in my phone and then I'll add it to my bullet journal next time I do like a planning session. So that's how I keep track of everything. I actually have a whole video about not running out of blog ideas, but I mean, it's the same kind of thing. So I'll link that down below. I'm gonna try to remember all these things. Okay. How do you ensure your products are flattened? So to flatten a product, that basically means that people can't steal the clip art that you purchased. To flatten a product, you can turn it into a PDF. So save as a PDF. On a Mac, you can click at the top and there's like a locked button. So you can click at the top and then click locked. And that makes it so people can't just steal your stuff. I don't know how to do it on a PC. I know Adobe does a good job, but I don't have their like fancy thing because it's expensive. And then you could also take a PowerPoint, save it as pictures, and then re-upload it into a PowerPoint, which I think answers another question. Yes, for Clipart, when giving, how do you link to Clipart? So that's the easiest way to link for Clipart, is to make a PowerPoint, save it as a PowerPoint, or save it as pictures, put it back into a PowerPoint, and then add text box with links in them would be my suggestion. Again, Adobe can do it and PDFs can do it, but I have not purchased them because that's expensive. So, how do you create the music staff notes? Do you use Finale or is it just layered clip art? So I teach music, if you didn't know from the coordinates and eighth notes, and if you don't teach music, you're probably like, what is she talking about? But so when I put music into my products, I would love to purchase Finale, which is like the really fancy music software. I don't currently have it because it's expensive. So I use a font called Staff Pitches Made Easy. I will link it down below. It's actually a free one by a guy named Matthew Hinson. He also has some rhythm ones that I don't use because I use another one, which I'll talk about in a second. So I use that, and I'll either it'll do just circles on the staff. So I'll either do that, or I will just do a blank staff, and then I'll go over it with my other font called Notable, which is one I purchased on TPT. I spent, I think I might have spent $25 or $30 or something. I mean, it was fairly expensive for a font, you know, most fonts are like $5, but I use it in literally everything. I use it in literally every product that I ever make, and so it's very worth it. And so I'll do a text box, and I'll put like a quarter note in it, and then I will put that onto the staff. So it's very time consuming. It would definitely be better to have finale, but I just haven't done that yet. You need to stop. Y'all are like, this lady just posted these videos about classroom management and she can't even get her dog. Do you see this? This is not actually from this video, but I'll answer it anyway. How much do you spend per month on advertising, and are there any other expenses? So I have changed my advertising multiple times, obviously. So my business has changed and I've made different amounts of money. The only advertisement I have invested in is Pinterest ads, and I did them a little bit. So I've spent anywhere between $30 and like $90, because I'll usually do them for $1 a day, and I'll turn them on from you know, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, depending on what's going on, how much money I have. I currently am not doing advertisements because my Pinterest ads lately have not been converting well. Like in the past they've done well, but this last couple months they have not. So I don't know if it's just a problem with that pin or whatever, but until I have time to dive into it, I don't want to waste my money. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. So I turned it off, and if I get a chance, I'm gonna see if I can beef it up or change it to a different one or something. Other expenses include my website hosting and domain. That's about $160 a year. And then Tailwind, I have Tailwind for Pinterest and Instagram. So that I think is about $160 a year. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? And then I pay $30 a month for my mail service. I use MailChimp because I went over the free threshold. I used the free one for a while. And then any clip art, obviously, that I use. I'm about to kick you out. Lay down. So I use HP Insta Ink, so I can print out my resources and take pictures of them in color. That's $10 a month for 300 pages a month, which is really good. And then I also do a like business coaching membership, which is $40, which is one of those things that, like, you know, I maybe don't need, but I feel like it's helpful and I'm learning a lot from it. So it's just like a membership site, and they have every month like a module that you can do, and then you have access to all the past months. And so there's like all of these things that I've been learning. I did like a branding thing today, and so I'm gonna hopefully have some time to invest into making my branding better. On the expenses, when I first started my business, I didn't have any of those expenses. I started 100% for free, which is the video that I actually posted about here for questions, was the one that was, how much does it cost to start your TPT shop? So just because I spend money now doesn't mean that I always have, and that you have to. All right, so my next question is, oh, I laughed when I saw this one. Do you prescribe to the 80-20 business rule? And if so, what is the 20% of business activity that leads to majority of results? So if you don't know, there's a principle called the 80-20 rule. It basically says that 80% of your profits come from 20% of your actions, and it works with a lot of different things. 20% of your customers make 80% of your revenue, 20% of your products make 80% of your revenue, 20% of what you do makes 80% of the difference. And so the whole idea is, if you can figure out what that 20% is, you can work a lot better. I laughed when I saw this because I just started reading the 80-20 rule, and so I just thought that was really ironic. So yes, I do believe that 20% definitely makes a huge difference. However, I'm not 100% sure of what that 20% is at the current moment. I have started thinking about it because I've been reading the book, but I do keep track on like marketing and things like that. That's one of the reasons I turned my Pinterest ad off, because it wasn't helping. However, Pinterest, like Tailwind, helps a ton because I get a ton of traffic from Pinterest, and specifically I get a lot of traffic from Pinterest to my website and from my website to my TPT shop. So like that roundabout way makes it happen. My biggest driver on TPT is TPT. And then my second one is my website. So people are going to my website, reading about my stuff, and then going and buying them, which is wonderful. That's what I want. And then my third thing is emails, actually, which is really recent. I've been like putting the UTM code so I can track them all. And my emails have been really successful lately. Every time I'll send one out, I'll get quite a few purchases of the product that I do. I mean, not like a ton, but you know, if I sell 5 in a day, like that's pretty stinking good when I just sent an email. So that's been working really well. And yeah, I know that YouTube does not convert well, mostly because I probably talk about stuff that's not teacher related. But just because, so in my 80/20, I don't have a complete handle on it, but I would have to say like writing blog posts makes a huge difference because people see them. Putting things in Tailwind makes a huge difference because that's what gets most of my blog traffic, things like that. So some things that don't convert well for me. I will also say that it's hard to track it completely in TPT because I know I personally have like seen something on Pinterest and then I'll go in the TPT app and buy it, or I'll see something on Instagram and then the next day I'll go on my website on my browser and buy it. So it's not 100% accurate. You can't like 100% say like, oh, this is where they came from, when, you know, they might have seen it before. So there's that too. So don't be discouraged if you go and look at your stuff and you're like, nobody's buying anything. But I will say Instagram does not convert very well for me. I don't know why. I mean, maybe people are, you know, going and buying stuff. I have sold, I mean, some, but it's just not nearly as high percentage as other things. And YouTube does not convert well either. I like YouTube for other reasons. So that doesn't mean that I like shouldn't do YouTube because it's not valid. It just means that it's not as big of a deal. So when it comes down to it, if it's between should I write a blog post or should I make a YouTube video, it's gonna be blog post. Do you use the same products, resources you use for your own class, or do you make products just for TPT? Both. So like I said, I make products for my classroom and then I change them a little bit because, you know, other people need different things than I do. Like my recent Aquabaca thing, I used it to teach law, but other people might be using it to teach quarter rest, and I used it, and so things like that. So I add extra slides in that I don't use in my classroom. I also put everything in stick notation, which is a different way to write rhythms that I don't use in my classroom. I know all the Kodai people were just like, what? But I don't use it in my classroom because it just honestly annoys me because it's just complicated. And I'm like, if you can see a stick, why can't you just see a quarter note? I don't know. I promise I'm not a terrible teacher. But and then I also make things just for TPT, and a lot of times they stem from things. So for example, my Kaboom games sell really, really well. I made the first Kaboom game for my classroom, and then I was like, oh, I could use this for Triple Clef, I could use this for a recorder, I could use this for this and that and the other. And then I also use those products once I have them in my classroom. So it goes in all ways. Do you see yourself staying in education for the long haul? Oh, I knew someone was going to answer this question, ask me this question. So yes and no. I do think that I will probably, I mean, I say probably because you never know, be in education probably my whole career, I would assume, barring anything crazy happening. But I don't think I will be teaching an elementary music class for a few reasons. When I first started, I really was thinking like, oh, well, I'll, you know, get a job and work for 30 years, retire, and then I'll go work at a university and write books. That was basically my plan. Now I'm not 100% sure. I do think I'll stay in education. I don't know that I will stay in the classroom. I might still do the whole teaching at a college. I would love to do that. I think that would be really well suited to me and my personality. I love teaching elementary music. It is so much fun. It's so great. The kids are great. I love it. Like, I really love it. But I recently discovered that even though I really love it, my passion is more for helping teachers than helping students. And like my least favorite part of the day is in the morning when I close my laptop and stop working on business stuff and go get ready for school. So I would love to eventually work full-time on my TPT business and maybe do some stuff with this and helping TPT sellers as well. But that's far down the road. It's not anytime soon. So that wouldn't be for a while. So yes, I planned to, make videos and make products and make courses and write books and all the things and maybe work in a university. I don't plan on being in the classroom forever and ever and ever. So yeah, but again, not anytime soon. All right, can you explain a little more about MailChimp? What would it be used to build an email list? Yes, so MailChimp is an email service provider. It's one of kind of the big two. MailChimp and ConvertKit tend to be the most popular. I'll link MailChimp down below since that's what I use and I don't know anything about ConvertKit, so I don't feel comfortable suggesting it to people. I have used MailChimp from the beginning, frankly, because it's free at the beginning, and I have never had any problems. I enjoy it. It is a little bit funky at first, but if you can figure it out, it's great. So I just leave my link to my landing page like everywhere, in the bottom of every blog post. It's in the description of all of my videos, all the things, so that people sign up for my email, and then I send out 2 emails a week. I usually do one that is based on a blog post or a product, and then I do like a kind of a roundup. So I'll do like 3 things to teach quarter rest. I think that's the one that's going out this week. Or 3 centers game for treble clef, or just stuff like that, where it's like, here's some quick things that you can use tomorrow, is basically my goal with my Sunday emails. So yeah, I'm planning on doing some videos about email soon. So if you have specific questions about that, leave that down below. When it comes to taxes, does being a premium TPT seller bring you more or less in your refund? I don't think it has anything to do with it. If you are a premium seller, then you make more money, but TPT doesn't send money to the IRS as far as I know. Maybe when you have a lot more money than I do, they do, but at least for me, they don't. So I just say, okay, here's how much money I made and here's all my expenses, and then it comes out, and that's how it is. So I don't think it has anything to do with it. If you, other than making more money, means that you're gonna pay more taxes. Frankly, I did not get a refund this year, and I didn't get a refund last year, so I'm not really expecting it to happen for a while, unless my husband and I finally change our withholdings. Do you ever have times when you can't think of ideas about what to make? I already answered that. Or do you have an idea and when you make it, you don't like it as much as when you first thought it? Yeah, I guess sometimes I start with something and then I start, whoa, that looks weird. Sometimes I start with something and I don't quite like it, and I usually just change it until I do like it. I don't usually abandon it, or I guess I'll leave it and wait until I get to a point where I feel like I can. Would you share your tax expenditure forms that you put in your files? Sure, I can do that. I'll leave a link to it down below. I don't know how, ooh, my favorite sound. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I can make that happen. Do you claim your earnings, or do you claim the sales and mark TPT's cut as an expense? I think you claim your sales and mark TPT's cut as an expense, because technically you still made that money, you just didn't actually get it. So there's that. And then what else does this say? Tailwind and Pinterest ads, is this a receipt that just the digital charges to bank statement? Pinterest and Tailwind both send an email when they charge you, so that's what you should be printing out for your records for that. If you didn't do it last year, you can probably find it on Pinterest or on Tailwind. I don't know. Can I claim Photoshop account as an expense? Yes, if you use it for your business, it's a business expense. Do you know if you have to get a business license to sell PDFs on TPT? Yes. Yes, 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 you do. I did not know this at first, but I was wrong. Yes, you need a business license if you are making money, basically. I'm sure that there is a cutoff at some point. I remember hearing somewhere that there was like a magic $600 mark that was like, if you make more than that, it's a hobby, or less than that, it's a hobby, more than that, and it's a business. But I would say be on the safe side and just go ahead and get a business license. It's not expensive. And the last thing you want is the government coming after you for money. So, also wondering if you might be required to send an estimated payments before income tax is due. So estimated payments is basically just like, I think I'm gonna owe money, so here's some money throughout the year. It's basically withholding for people who don't have withholding, because, you know, TPT doesn't do that because they don't employ us. So that is just totally a judgment call. I just keep, I just save what I estimate my tax is going to be in a savings account, and then I just pay it when April 15th comes. I will say they charged me a very small fee this year. I think it was like 50 bucks because it was like underestimated tax fee or something, because I did owe so much, which is partially just because of our jobs and not withholding enough, and then partially because of TPT definitely did not help. Do I need to be an LLC to claim my internet service provider on my taxes? No, however, you might run into problems if you are trying to claim your whole thing and you are also using it for like Netflix. So just ask your tax preparer about that one, would be my guess. When do you get time to sleep? I've been teaching for ages and still struggle with fitting everything in. I don't sleep much and I don't have a TPT or an Etsy shop. Good on you. All right, so this is a form of question that I get a lot that basically boils down to time management. I just do. I wake up pretty early and I work out and I work in the morning, and that's my favorite time of the day because it's so quiet. Other than this one, just kidding, she normally sleeps next to me on the couch. It's nice and quiet and I can get a lot of stuff done, and I can do it before my day starts getting jumbled, and by the time I get to school I feel like I have already done all the things. And then sometimes I come home and I work when I come home, sometimes I don't. Like today, obviously I'm filming a video. Wednesday and Thursday, did nothing. I had planned to like get all this stuff done. Nope, sat on the couch. Well, I did not. And then Mondays and Tuesdays, I usually don't get anything done because I have choir on Monday and Tuesday. And then on the weekends, I usually will spend some time working on TPT. It's really just focusing on things that are important, like product creation, and not focusing on things that are not important. And having systems and routines. I talk a lot about systems and routines. If you have more time management questions, like y'all, I'm a 1, so time management and planning is like my jam, isn't it, Tolly Wally? Yeah. So I would love any other specific questions about time management. I might do some videos on that too, so that you can just kind of get all my hacks. As far as Etsy goes, honestly, I don't get tons of sales, and so I just do them whenever I have a second. My Etsy shop says I ship in like 1 to 2 weeks. It's usually more like 2 days, because I'll try to do it that day or the next day, like either when I get home or the next morning or over the weekend. So that's my short answer. Is I work on TPT in the morning, I work while I watch TV, and I usually spend a little bit of time on the weekends, and Etsy just kind of comes and goes. So I really love it, and that's why I do it. It's what it boils down to. I also don't have kids. That makes a big difference, because when I get home, the only other creatures I have to deal with are these needy dogs. Me? Are you calling me needy? I'm not needy. But I do need you to rub my belly. Oh, here comes the other one. I cannot imagine having a child on top of this. Ugh. Anyway, thank you so much for all of your questions. Leave any more questions that you have down below. I would love to make this a regular thing, like I was saying, and do maybe like TPT one month and then like teaching questions another month. So if you have TPT or teaching questions, leave them down below. As you noticed last time, I could not wait to actually film the video, so I went ahead and like answered all your questions in the comments, and then I also stuck them in the video. So, which is also kind of nice because I already had my thoughts planned out, which is good because I tend to talk way too much. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share, especially if you are looking for more TPT content and questions. I have a whole playlist full of TPT stuff. Like, go check it out. If you need some productivity tips, I got those too, and I can make a ton more because I love to plan. Yes, I do. I am gonna go and snuggle with this one right here because she apparently needs it. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Can you wave? Say bye. You're so cute. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.